A hat-trick from Mark Gamble was the highlight of this 6-0 win for Wimborne over Evesham United at Cuthbury today. The front man signed from Bashley in the close season was just too hot to handle for the Evesham United defence, and they didn't really get near him all day. Steve Cuss made a couple of changes from the team that beat Godalming 2-1 here on Tuesday. Ollie Phillips and Masters suffering from a bit of a sore back, so Luke Whitley came in at the left back position, and reverting to a 4-4-2, he brought Adam Costello in for the injured Jamie Davidson. Jamie was desperate to play but had to make do with a place on the bench. Wimborne started very strongly and pressed the Evesham defence back, but as the first half wore on and no goals were forthcoming, it began to look a little bit... people started to get a bit worried, I think. But then on 30 minutes, Mark Gamble made it 1-0. Excellent work from George Webb, winning the ball in midfield. He slipped the ball to Mickey Hubbard, who in turn put Mark in on goal. Mark dragged it back and shot past the keeper with a good right foot shot, beating the keeper at his near post. 5 minutes later, it was 2-0 to the Magpies. Mark Gamble again in the action this time. He took the ball out the box, took it round the keeper. Keeper pulled him down, ref pointed to the spot. Mickey Hubbard dispatched the spot kick with his usual aplomb. Right foot shot into the bottom of the net. So 2-0 to Wimborne at half time, and 2 goals early in the second half sealed the points for the home side. On 49 minutes, it was James Stockwell who was left with a fairly simple tap in after excellent work by Mark Gamble getting to the left-hand byline. And then 3 minutes later, George Webb fed Mark Gamble. He controlled the ball well, calmly took it past the keeper and slotted it into an empty net. That made it 4-0. On the hour mark, tremendous work by George Webb again on the right-hand side, pulled it back and delivered a measured cross right onto Gam's head, and his looping header went over the keeper in at the far post, 5-0. Steve Cuss brought on a couple of substitutes. Scott Arnold went off on 62 minutes and Billy Maybury came on and slotted into the right back position. And then on 74 minutes, John Blake went off and Mark Kemble came on. And Kems had only been on 5 minutes when tremendous pressing from the front two forced a hasty clearance from Evesham United, and when the ball came back in, there was Kemble alert to win it with the head and follow through and put the ball calmly past the keeper to make it 6-0. Mark Gamble went off with 4 minutes to go to a standing ovation. Paul Roast came on to play at the final minutes. This was a really classy performance by Wimborne Town, and shows how right Steve Cuss was to invest in Mark Gamble and James Stockwell. The pair of them were just much too difficult for Evesham to control today. So a good day for Wimborne Town. Next game, we're at Bridgewater on Monday in the league. Coach leaves at 10:30 for that one. And then next Saturday it's back to FA Cup action when we entertain local rivals Hamworthy United here at Cuthbury, and it's a 3 o'clock kick-off, and we'll hope to see you there. Now I've got Steve Cuss with me after today's resounding 6-0 victory over Evesham United. Steve, you must be a happy man.
Oh yeah, absolutely delighted with that. It's probably as good as it gets. I thought, I've just been in there and said to the boys, I thought we defended very well, strange as it might sound, but first 20 minutes I thought we absolutely did everything we needed to do, and it allowed the foundations to go on and produce an attacking performance like we did. So, delighted with 6 goals.
Mark Gamble got 3, James Stockwell got 1, but almost for me it was the work they did off the ball. They pressed the defence. They never let them settle, did they?
We've talked about it in the changing room. We were disappointed at Yates, and we don't want to keep looking back on things. But we didn't think we worked hard enough off of the ball at Yates, and Tuesday night we did work exceptionally hard. I thought we carried it on today. When you don't allow people time on the ball, they can't play against you, and I thought we did that for a man out there today.
Go through the whole team. There wasn't a failure on the pitch today, but I have to say a special mention for Sam Griffin, who I thought was tremendous. I mean, we haven't had a player like that for a while, who just goes at defenders. He's tricky, he's got good control.
Yeah, he's the old-fashioned winger, if you like, isn't he? He stays out wide, we give him the ball, we try and get him one-on-one, and I think he's a real threat, and he's got that ability to beat players both sides, and gives us a real option in terms of our attacking play.
You brought Scott Arnold off for Billy Maybury in the second half. Any problem there, or was just to give Scotty a rest?
Yeah, I mean, he probably could have stayed on if we needed to, but with the score as it was, he's got a little problem with his hip, so we brought him off, and obviously thinking ahead to Monday, less than 48 hours, we're going to try and look after him.
Yeah. And you had Jamie on the bench today with a bit of protection on his arm. Was he desperate to get on there?
He was desperate to play. It was my decision. It was my decision not to play him today. I thought we'd use him off the bench, but again, with the scoreline as it was, we didn't need to use him. You know, at the end of the day, he has got a broken bone in that wrist, and it will be painful for him. So I made the decision not to play him today. But you know, all fair play to Jamie. He wanted to play. He was desperate to play today. He wanted to start and play. So it just shows you probably the type of spirit we've got in the camp at the moment.
6-0 without one of our best players on the pitch. It doesn't get much better
It's not
than
bad.
that.
Yeah, it's good.
Cheers, Steve. Thanks a lot.
Ken. Cheers.